I'd now like to welcome on stage recipient of the BAFTA Fellowship Award, Thelma Schoonmaker. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be holding another BAFTA?
It's wonderful.
We saw you chatting just now with Prince William and Kate. How was that? That must have been a very special moment.
Well, he was lovely. He wanted to make sure that he pronounced my very difficult name properly, so he sent a message saying, and so we wrote it out phonetically for him because nobody knows how to pronounce my name. It's actually Dutch from when the Dutch owned New Amsterdam before the British took it over in the 1700s. So
really?
My name is Dutch. It goes way back there. Anyway, it was very sweet of him to ask make sure he pronounced it properly.
Yeah. What was Kate saying to you on stage? Can you
Oh,
remember?
well, she's one of those actresses who's sort of take one, we call it. Mm-hmm. They come in so prepared, so seated in the part, that usually take one is the best take. Sometimes, Marty likes to direct actors, sometimes he shapes them, he pushes them one way or the other. Mm-hmm. But there are people like her who are just phenomenal, and I love editing them.
What was it like hearing those lovely words from Martin Scorsese, your
very
longtime
lovely. He's, I get really too much credit because as he said and as I said, his basic love, his most important love is for editing. So when we get together in the room, it's just this wonderful collaboration, a wonderful exchange of ideas, and we talk about everything under the sun, politics, music, art. But as he said, just being in the room together is incredible. I think when he first met me, he felt he could trust me to do what was right for his films. Mm-hmm. A lot of times director-editor relationships are fraught, and that's not good for a movie, but that's never the way it is with us. We're both doing what's right for the movie.
How has your relationship with him changed since your first film?
Oh, it's changed enormously. I knew nothing about editing when I met him. Nothing. He taught me everything. Right. So over the years, I was a student, and then now I've become a full collaborator, and he relies heavily on me. But when I first began, I knew nothing. I wanted to become a diplomat. So I studied political science and Russian and things like that. But I accidentally became a film editor, thankfully. It's been the best life anyone could have. It's so creative. It's just phenomenal.
How has your job changed over the past 50 years?
Well, each film is different. You have to sometimes learn how to slow down. For example, you don't cut a movie like Goodfellas the same way you cut Age of Innocence, mm-hmm. because it's about 19th century America. And so you have to slow down and deal with people who aristocrats as much as America has aristocrats, and learn a different kind of pacing. Mm. Each film is different. And each film is a wonderful challenge. I'm so lucky because, as I said in my speech, I think a lot of editors don't get very good movies to edit. I think they could direct them better than the director, and I'm never in that state because Marty is just a genius, and I'm so lucky to work with him.
You're a role model for so many people out there, sort of just starting out in the industry as well. Have you got any advice for the kind of future editors of the film world?
Well, I think if you're trying to bust in, the thing you have to do is you have to almost be willing to work for nothing. I think that's how most of my friends got in. You have to just let people see you at work, and filmmakers very quickly pick out who's the person that's going to be good. As a person working on a crew or in an editing room. I think you have to have a lot of discipline. You have to have tremendous stamina. It's very exhausting sometimes. You have to have a musical sense, a sense of pacing. But mostly you have to work with the director. You have to help the director get his vision up on the screen. Your job is not to fight with him. Your job is to help him. And if you put his vision up on the screen and it's not working, then you come up with solutions for that. Mm-hmm. But I do think it's very important that you support the director you're working with.
What was it like for you? Like we said, you kind of started out 50 years ago. Presumably there weren't that many female editors then.
There weren't, but I was part of a group of people who came out of New York University who were extremely idealistic. And I was never treated just as a woman. Mm-hmm. In fact, they were not very good at editing because they were always losing shots. The editing rooms were a mess. You know, I think women are a little more disciplined and can multitask more. And so it suddenly just fell to me. You know, it wasn't really a choice. They were just doing a terrible job at it. So I luckily was able to get in there and sort things out. So that's all the advice I can give. Just if you really have a passion for it, you have to be willing to suffer at first until you get your break.
That's great.
You have to get that break, yeah.
I'd like to open up to the audience. Any questions from the audience? Yes, Jake.
Hi, congratulations.
Thank you.
I was just wondering if there were any editing in the films this year that you thought really stood out as being better than the rest.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I was wondering if there were any editing in the films this year that you really liked.
Well, you know, the terrible thing is when I'm working on a film like I am on Irishman, I can't see anything. So I'll see them all probably in a couple of months. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us
You're
on stage, and
welcome.
congratulations again. It's fantastic. Thank you.